everyone, welcome back to Herky the Cavalier's channel. Today I'm here with Herky because I wanted to talk to you a bit about recent events that happened with her. To make this story a bit brief and put you more in context, Herky was just back yesterday and she just got surgery. So she's doing good now, but basically she spent a whole day and a whole night at the vet hospital because something happened and she needed surgery. And I just wanted to put you up to speed and really warn you about how it happened and how to prevent it with your own dogs. Basically what happened is on Tuesday night, I tried to brush Herky's teeth and I noticed that one of her top teeth looked very different and it looked broken compared to her other molar in the back. So I immediately called the vet and booked an appointment for the next day, which is Wednesday, to come in for a consultation and to see what happened. And it turns out that she had fractured her molar, one of her big premolars in the back, and it's a really large tooth. It's a molar that has 3 roots, so it's a very, very big tooth, and the vet immediately suggested that we either have the tooth extracted or we proceed to a root canal. Root canals are not usually recommended for us here in Quebec since they're a lot pricier, and they also take a lot longer to book an appointment because there's not a lot of dentists for dogs where we live here. So she really suggested that we get an extraction done for Herky, and we were lucky enough to have a spot booked for her the next day, which is the Thursday. So on Thursday morning, we bring her to the vet, and she was fasting since the previous night. So we bring her in for surgery, and basically, that's pretty much what happened. They suggested that they keep her overnight after the surgery that day to check for signs of bleeding and keep monitoring her. It was really hard having her in there, especially since I believe the accident was really our fault. And in the end, everything went well and she's doing good now. But I can't help but feel very guilty about all of this, and I really wanted to warn you that I'm certain that this happened because she was chewing on those antler chews and those really hard bones, and I feel really terrible because I myself was promoting these items for so long, and I've always been a huge fan of those bones and those antler chews because they're so durable. But the downside of them being so durable is the fact that they're so hard and they can actually break your dog's teeth. And I actually mentioned that in my previous video about antler chews, but I never thought that it could happen to me personally and to them. We've been using those antler chews for so long and nothing ever happened, so I was obviously blinded by that fact and just assumed that it would never happen to me. I feel so bad about it that it happened to her because of that. So obviously now we threw out all of those chews. Actually no, I didn't throw them out yet because I wanted to keep them and show them to you. So obviously you know these chews, I've shown them here before. This is a big antler chew. This is a big bone and another antler chew here, and the girls love these so much, and that's one of the reasons why I keep giving it to them. It's because I see it as a treat for them and they really enjoy them. So no. So I really view it as a treat and I give it to them because they love it and it keeps them distracted for so long. Can you stop talking about that? No. So I feel really terrible promoting these items, but I was personally a fan of those for a super long time, and I really believe that they were good for your dog's teeth and stuff, but now I know how dangerous they are and how they can actually injure your dog. I feel so bad and I feel really responsible for what happened to her because not only is the surgery really expensive, putting the money aside, the really sad part for me is that her teeth were so healthy otherwise. Her molar, everything was super healthy, and the vet kept telling me that the tooth was actually hard to remove because her tooth was so healthy and because the molars were anchored so strongly in her mouth. So she lost a perfectly healthy tooth. It's a really big one. I'm going to show you some pictures of the before and after of her teeth that the vet gave me. It's a really, really large tooth. It was hard to extract. It took an hour to extract that tooth. So it's just a really invasive surgery for something that was so easily preventable and that I should have known. So I really apologize if I recommended those items to you, but if you did purchase them, please be very careful, and I even suggest now that you throw them out because you never know when an accident is going to happen. It's just your dog that's going to suffer from it in the long run because they're really tough and you actually don't know when the tooth is broken. I'm very lucky to have found out that tooth when I did while brushing her teeth, but If I was a person that doesn't brush my dog's teeth, I would have never noticed it. She never whined. Her appetite was still the exact same. And that just shows how tough they are, because the pulp of her tooth, which is the part where there's blood, was showing, so which means her nerve were completely exposed. It's super painful. When we have a little toothache, we already whine, so for them it must be super painful, but they just don't react to it. And for some dogs, they even go very long time before you can notice it, and it becomes an abscess. And at that point, it means your dog either has an infection, it can go in their blood and affect their brain and their liver and all their internal organs. And when there's an abscess, it's going to actually start swelling around the eyes, so there can be problems with your brain later on. So it's really a problem that can be prevented. And once you notice the problem, there's also measures that allow you to treat it right away rather than leaving it infect. So just be very, very careful. I strongly suggest that you get rid of those bones. But as you can see, the surgery went really well. I think I was more scared and I was a lot more worried, but things went really well. She was treated super well. They gave me some news quickly. So Herky was under general anesthesia during the operation, and they also proceeded to a tooth cleaning while she was under. So she has super clean teeth now, but she's doing great. Other than that, she's back to her normal self. She's sleeping a bit more than usual, but her appetite hasn't changed and her mood is still pretty much the same. So we have our little Herky back. It was just a lot of worrying on our side and obviously a big vet bill. But what I can do now is just prevent you and let you know that please spread the message and let people know that these antler chews are really too hard for your dog. I so should have known. They're so hard that it can't be good for their teeth, especially those big molars. They tend to chew on it with their molars. And I hear now that I'm looking into it, there's so many cases of fractured teeth. So I just want everyone to be conscious of that and that the message be spread. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below and we'll be sure to answer all of them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We love you very much and we'll see you soon. Bye.